Yes, Yachna.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much. This is my first session, and I actually imagined myself sitting at the bottom of the ocean, quite still, and I experienced that in this ocean of unconditional love, I just had to be there and do nothing and like not becoming something. And I felt accepted, and yeah, it was so peaceful. I
Yeah.
didn't want to come out. But I have a question. I am, I would not say that I'm at a level of spiritual awakening, but I'm at a place where the old version of me does not exist.
Mm,
And I'm in the in-betweens. And I'm still trying to learn that when I know that I have this little piece of mind that I have collated within me,
mhm.
I'm scared to go back in the world because when I meet people, I don't know how to show myself in the world with a kind of a boundary for my inner peace because I've lived a very long time in the old conditioning of
Mm,
3D.
mm.
Yeah.
You know, Yachna, it's very natural to feel this way. And I would say something has happened there that you are here and you are able to enjoy this unconditional love. You can stay present and enjoy this unconditional love. That means something has happened. Now, I've always said that the person never awakens, the awakening happens. That means an insight happens. Insight is not based on thinking, it is a recognition. And when this recognition happens, you simply just see the dualistic nature of life, which means I will just give you my own experience. The insight that came to me first was not a, a grand experience of any sorts. It was simply this recognition that happiness in everything comes attached with unhappiness. This was my very first insight. Whether it is job, relationships, money, anything, it will come with its share of unhappiness, and there is nothing we can do to break this dualistic split. In fact, this message doesn't even say that you have to break the dualistic split. It says that see or recognize that underlying principle which is illuminating this duality. That means I accept the polaric opposites, and that itself brings a lot of peace. So what happens is in the early stages one feels a little because one has experienced peace and calm, but the mind is still a little bit dipped into old conditioning, and that's very natural because you have carried that since childhood. We have been trained, we have been given so much information, so it's not going to go abruptly. But slowly and steadily what happens is this mind begins to settle down, and this this presence, this awareness starts growing within oneself. And this is what Ramana Maharishi said when he used the words, when he said that your head is already in the tiger's mouth. The awareness has already gripped you, it has seized you. Now it's just going to devour you. That's it. And in that is your liberation. So the thing is, still the yachna will come back to the world, but now there will be a difference. Now there will be more acceptance towards life, living, people. conditioning, and you will be more engaged but less involved. There is a difference between being engaged and being involved in the world. Being engaged in is an amazing creative activity where you can, you know, interact with people. For example, if you are interacting with people in a group and you're expressing yourself like we are all are doing here, this is engagement. This is beautiful, creative. But there will not be any involvement, which means that my view has to be accepted as the only right view, or my happiness depends on how you perceive my views. That kind of involvement goes away. So the need to argue and assert one's point also begins to go away. So this reminds me of a story where a disciple comes to the master, and the disciple says, "Oh, master, this is a beautiful, beautiful world. I love this world. It's an amazing place. So much love, so much vastness, so much variety, so many colors, beautiful people. I have seen love all around." And then he looked at the master's reaction, and master looked at him and said, "Okay." But he didn't like that. He said he was probably expecting a little more words from masters. So he gets a little upset and he says, he tries the other end. He says, "I was just kidding. This world is a horrible place. It is full of wars, violence, and, so much horrible things happening in this world." And then again he looks at the master, and the master again says, "Okay." So he gets more confused now. He says, "I don't understand. Why don't you correct me when I'm wrong? You know that I'm wrong. Why don't you correct me when I'm wrong?" And master again says, "Okay." You see, this is the nature of the separate self, the ego, which is unconsciousness. It wants to get validation for its idea of right and wrong. It doesn't care what really is right and wrong because there is actually no right and wrong. It's all relative. But the ego gets caught up, it gets involved, you know, and that's what starts to diminish as this understanding goes deeper, and one finds oneself more relaxed. And so I would say that there is nothing to be done as such, but let the awareness do its job. Since it has you in its grip, let it do its job. All you can simply do is just witness what is happening. Simple observation, nothing else. No practice, nothing else.
Thank you so much. This was very insightful.